President Bush defended himself today for honoring the Dalai Lama, the Buddhist religious leader receiving the Congressional Gold Medal from the president. China now opposes the honor because of the Lama's insistence for independence for Tibet.
I think it's a good thing for the president to do, to recognize those who Congress has honored. And I'm looking forward to going. I told the Chinese president, President Hu, that I was going to go to the ceremony. I brought it up. And I said, I'm going because I want to honor this man. I have consistently told the Chinese that religious freedom is in their nation's interest.
Well, is supporting the Dalai Lama worth straining relations with the economic powerhouse that China's become?
Well, here with us now, Mike Norman of the Economic Contrarian Update, and Jim Pettikoukas from Money and Business, and Peter Schiff, author of Crash Proof. So, Peter, to you first, what do you think? Is President Bush risking something with China by doing this?
Well, I doubt this specific incident is going to spark any kind of retaliation by China. But in general, in the broader scheme of things, we have to be very careful of China, because China is blowing all the air into our bubble economy. They're the ones that are supplying us with all these low-priced consumer goods that we buy, and they're loaning us all the money to pay for it. And, you know, we've got problems in the mortgage market. Imagine how much worse those problems would be if the Chinese weren't holding on to hundreds of billions of dollars worth of our mortgage-backed securities.
So, Mike, according to Peter, we couldn't survive without China.
Well, this is complete. Look, China can't survive without us. Let me put it very simply. China needs to produce 25 million jobs per year. We're dancing in the streets here in the United States if we produce 2 million jobs per year. They grow their economy precisely by selling into our market. By the way, I don't even know if Peter knows this. We import about $250 billion worth of goods from China every year. That's tiny compared to the overall U.S. economy, okay? The other thing he probably doesn't know is that over the past 4 years, we've grown our exports to China almost threefold. So they're going to be ended up to be a very strong consumer of our products.
But, Jim, that doesn't mean we go cap in hand to the Chinese and do everything they say, like not meeting the Dalai Lama, right?
Absolutely. First of all, I think I could have done that Bill Murray monologue off the top of my head.
I love you, Jim, but you couldn't. You couldn't. Trust me. Don't go there. Go ahead, China.
Wouldn't have been as funny. But second of all, you know what? China does need us. The whole sort of raison d'etre for the Chinese government right now is economic growth, being able to deliver higher standards of living to their people. And if they can't do that, there's no reason for them to be in power. And for them to do that, they need the United States. They need our markets. They need to keep their economic growth at a blistering white-hot pace.
No, they don't. They do not. They have. There's a billion consumers in China. They're hardworking. They don't need us at all. They can produce. If they can produce, they can consume.
700 million of those
Chinese. They are not a consumer-driven economy yet.
No, but there's no such thing. Our consumer-driven economy, we're going to drive it into the ground. This is a giant, bubble. We've borrowed money from the rest of the world to consume. We're a mess. They don't need us.
No, that's absurd. You know, most countries in the developing world, such as China, have grown their economies because of the United States. Because of their ability to sell their products into the United States.
Not,
700 million. Peter, wait a second. You had your chance to speak. 700 million people in China live in abject poverty, okay? So they need to change that equation. And President Bush, by the way, making this appearance with the Dalai Lama, sending a strong signal that the Chinese leaders themselves already know they have to narrow that disparity in income. They have to open up their society, which is basically run by a bunch of leaders in there and 1.3 billion people have no say in that society.
Let Peter respond.
Mike,
Peter.
The way to change that, the way for China to improve the lot of those 700 million people is to stop subsidizing our economy, but let the Chinese yuan rise. Hold on, Mike.
What China needs to do is
Jim, you're going to get the final word. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead, Jim.
What China needs to do is keep their economy moving, move those people into the middle class, and then they will demand more freedom and become a democratic capitalist country, which is what we want. It's our greatest foreign policy goal, just about.
That would be best for everybody. Let's leave it on that.